Have you seen a time in your coverage, both WNBA and NBA, where the names itself, the magnitude of these trades have taken place? I know sometimes it happens at the end of the season, but during the course of the season with the big time names that were involved. Have you seen this before?
You mean the WNBA or the NBA?
Both.
Okay. So in the WNBA, I've never seen like a free agency that went down like this, where you had giant stars changing teams and being traded for each other. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I was reporting on Candace Parker going from the Sparks to the Chicago Sky. Remember, she went home to Chicago.
Yep.
Because the rules in the WNBA make it hard for ladies to change teams, right? They have these core rules. And when the team cores you, like, you have to basically ask for a trade. Like, you can resign, but they'll trade you. Ladies haven't really done that as much, right? They haven't moved teams quite as much. They've stayed where they are. And it's almost like it's starting to become a true free agency. It's not quite there yet because the new CBA is going to get there next year. So everybody's signing 1-year deals right now. There's going to be a lot more money. We're still talking like, the difference between what one offer is like one team will give you 110 and one team will give you 185. Okay. So that's not like life-changing money. I mean, it's good. It's a big difference, but it's not life-changing. Next year in the new CBA, we might see real life-changing money kind of differences where right now I still think players are picking the best situation for them. The money matters, but the best situation in terms of, how the organization is set up, facilities, resources, teammates, but also chance to win, comfortability in the cities, even stuff like the team marketing deals that some franchises have set up and others don't. I still think those matter a lot. Whereas next year, you're going to start seeing the money matter. And I think that'll be really fascinating for the WNBA. Plus, I think these core rules, I get why they're in place because, fan bases like loyalty and they want to latch on to certain players and stuff. But I think the league is going to graduate to a place where the players are going to start having a lot more power. And I think it'll be good for the league. I think it'll be good for the individual players because they need to make a lot more money. We've been seeing this with Unrivaled. Like, everybody playing there is making $250. Some of them are making even more than that. That's a lot more than they make in the WNBA. And Unrivaled is just, a 6-week thing. So I think there's money there. The new broadcast deal kicks in next year. And that's going to be fun to watch because you saw Indiana, like, they're loading up trying to surround Caitlin Clark with some talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I like this. This is possible now. People want to go play with her. You saw the Aces where they go and get a replacement right for Plum. You get Jewel Lloyd, who's been a leading scorer in this league. That's going to be a hot team. You saw the Sparks go from a lottery team. I mean, I guess we call it a lottery, right? They have the number 2 pick in the draft. So now you got Kelsey Plum on your team. And they look like they might be able to build faster because they were able to sign a free agent. And Kelsey Plum had been cored by the Aces.
Right.
And the fact that she's able to move is a real change in the WNBA that we see in this year and especially the last couple of years.
What do you think? And go back to what you said. You said that, a player basically had to be traded. But in that same instance, it's loyalty to the fan base, to the organization trying to win. As the money now circulates through the WNBA at a higher rate, you're saying you're going to start to see players, okay, now it's like, okay, understand the loyalty and all that. But this is where I want to go. The player empowerment part is about to begin when that money kicks in. Now, on that too, I know the union in the WNBA went back in and wanted to open it back up for further negotiations. Was that also to get a little bit more money out of that because of the TV deals in order for that money to now trickle down to the players in the WNBA?
Yeah, and I think they will in this next deal. I think it's not good for the league when there's a work stoppage. So I think that they couldn't do that this year. I mean, they need some time and et cetera. But I think the WNBA is going to look vastly different next year because now it's year 2 of the Caitlin Clark effect, right? It's year 2 of really highly competitive basketball, much more parity throughout the league. There's going to be teams like, obviously I think the Valkyries are going to have a hard time. That's the expansion team this year up in San Francisco. And I kind of feel like I understand why the league gives them the 5th pick. That's precedent. You give the expansion team after the first 4 lottery picks, then that's when the expansion team gets a pick. That's tough. Usually you want to start a franchise with like a huge player.
Yeah.
And then also in free agency because of the core system. But so because, anybody who's really good, right? Like Kelsey Plum and some of the big name free agents, they're probably just going to resign. But if with the core, they can, they can get cored and then they can be asked to go someplace. But if they're going to ask to go someplace and everybody is basically going to offer them a max offer, now you're just picking between the best situation. So the Valkyries are never going to be the best situation because they just were formed. Their team came to an expansion draft. But you know how the Warriors run things up in San Francisco, right? Like if they're able to get more money, get more assets, get more draft. I mean, just think of it like a poker game. You're sitting at the table and you're low stacked, you're the little stack. But next year they'll start having more money to throw at people. And that could really shift the balance of power. If teams see how organizations run, how well they're supported. I mean, they sold out their games already. And so at the Chase Center, that's going to be an incredible environment for women's basketball.
Check out new episodes of The Jim Jackson Show every Thursday. Watch on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page. Follow the show on Instagram at Jim Jackson Show, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.